Apakah persalinan?
Persalinan adalah proses pengeluaran kelahiran hasil konsepsi yang dapat hidup di luar uterus melalui vagina ke dunia luar. Proses tersebut dapat dikatakan normal atau spontan jika bayi yang dilahirkan berada pada posisi letak belakang kepala dan berlangsung tanpa bantuan alat-alat atau pertolongan serta tidak melukai ibu dan bayi. Pada umumnya proses ini berlangsung dari 24 jam. Abortus, pengeluaran buah kehamilan sebelum usia kehamilan 22 minggu atau bayi dengan berat badan kurang dari 500 gram. Partus imaturus, pengeluaran buah kehamilan usia antara 22 minggu sampai 28 minggu atau bayi dengan berat badan antara 500 gram sampai dengan 999 gram. Partus prematurus, pengeluaran buah kehamilan usia antara 28 minggu sampai dengan 37 minggu, berat badan antara 1000 gram sampai dengan 2499 gram. Partus maturus atau aterme, pengeluaran buah kehamilan usia antara 37 minggu sampai dengan 42 minggu atau bayi dengan berat badan antara 2500 gram atau lebih. Partus postmaturus atau serotinus, pengeluaran buah kehamilan setelah kehamilan 42 minggu.
4 ways you can tell that labor is near. Number 1, cramps. Labor is determined by the frequency and intensity of contractions. Contractions start off mild, meaning they're noticeable but not too painful. They often feel like the kind of cramps usually associated with starting your period. These cramps aren't constant. They might come and go over hours or even a couple of days. Number 2, pressure in your lower body. As labor approaches, you'll typically start feeling pressure in your lower body. That's often due to your baby dropping lower into your pelvis, a process also known as lightening. This movement is a sign that the baby is getting into position to be born. Some people feel lightening as pressure in their pelvis or vagina. Others experience low back pain. Number 3, loss of the mucus plug. During pregnancy, mucus accumulates in the opening of your cervix. This is called a mucus plug, and it helps to protect your growing baby from unhealthy bacteria outside of the uterus. As labor gets closer, your cervix opens in preparation, creating enough space for the mucus plug to fall out. This can happen all at once or gradually, and you might not even notice it. Number 4, changes to your vaginal discharge. Your vaginal discharge may start to look different closer to labor. It might become more watery, or it might feel stickier and thicker. In the early stages of labor, your vaginal discharge can also look a little pink. You might also see changes when you start to lose your mucus plug.
In the first stage of labor, the body prepares to give birth. There are 2 phases, early and active. Early labor can last from hours to days. First-time moms may spend more time in this phase. The cervix, or the opening to the uterus, begins to soften, efface or thin out, and dilate or open. The cervical changes are necessary so the baby can pass through. Usually, a woman's water breaks during the first stage of labor. Contractions or tightening of the uterus becomes strong and regular. Typically, the woman will have a 30 to 70 second long contraction every 5 to 20 minutes. There may also be a stringy, bloody discharge from the vagina called bloody show. This is considered normal. Active labor occurs when the cervix starts to dilate more quickly. Contractions get stronger, last longer, and occur more often. The cervix labor, the child is born. A healthcare provider usually encourages the woman to push to help the baby move down the vagina. She might push for minutes or hours. Once the baby's head starts to come out, called crowning, a provider guides the rest of the baby out. Childbirth is finished when the baby is completely out of the vagina. The provider then cuts and clamps the umbilical cord which connected mom and baby during pregnancy. The last stage of labor involves delivery of the placenta or afterbirth. During pregnancy, the placenta supplies food and oxygen to the fetus. Once the umbilical cord is cut, the placenta has to come out. Contractions typically begin 5 to 10 minutes after the baby's birth. During this time, the placenta detaches from the uterus. A provider may encourage the woman to push, just as she did to deliver the baby. After 5 to 30 minutes, the placenta comes completely out of the vagina. Then the